Hey, welcome back to part 4 of paper 3, higher November 2020 papers. Okay, the diagram shows a cube 11.3 centimeters correct to the nearest millimeter. Calculate the lower bound for the edge of the cube. You must show all your working. Now, 11.3, the lower bound of 11.3 is 11.25, so we're going to be using 11.25, not 3. Okay, let's just have a zoom in on this cube here. Now this cube has what? 12 sides. Each of these sides are the same length. And they are all x. So I'm going to label each side of this cube x because they are all the same. Now the question has said AH is 11.25. So let's draw a line at AH. This is the line AH. I'm going to form a triangle with it. Okay, so this line AF is the one we need to be working out, that one there. And let's just make our triangle. So the triangle will look like this. And I'm going to shade it in green, just so that maybe you can see it, this triangle. Okay, it's standing up inside, okay, so it's 3D. Alright. Okay. Hopefully you can see the triangle standing up inside the cube. Now, I know this length is 11.25, okay, because that's AH. And I need to work out this length, but I don't know this length here, okay? So I need to work out this length as well. I know this is X. I also know this is X. So using that as X and that as X, I can work out this missing length here. I'll call that Y, okay? Let's just call that Y. I am going to shade in the bottom triangle as well so that you can clearly see which triangle this is. Okay, if this pen decides to work. Alright. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out the pink triangle. Okay, so let's zoom out. The pink triangle is the first triangle I'm drawing out to work out. Now, I know that this length is X and this length is X, therefore that is X. That is X. This is going to be a right angle triangle and I'm trying to work out this length Y. Okay, I'm going to use Pythagoras theorem, my formula being a squared plus b squared equals to c squared. This is a, this is b, and this is c. So I'm going to substitute these into my equation. X squared plus x squared is equal to y squared. I need to work out y. X squared and x squared adds to give me 2x squared is equal to y squared. I want y, so I'm going to square it on both sides. So y is equal to root 2x. The square root of 2x squared, so I get the square root of 2 is going to be root 2. And the square root of x squared is going to be x. So now my missing length, the matching one, the one that joins onto both triangles, is root 2x. I will now draw out my green triangle. Okay, so now my green triangle, I know the standing up one is x. And the bottom one I've just worked out to be root 2x. And I know the diagonal is 11.25. Okay, again, this is Pythagoras theorem because it's a right angle triangle. And I know my formula to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I will substitute these values, a, b, and c, into my formula. So I've got x squared plus root 2x squared equals to 11.25 squared. Root 2x squared is just 2x squared. So x squared plus 2x squared is equal to 11.25 squared. X squared add 2x squared equals to 3x squared, which equals 11.25 squared. In order to work out the value of x, I'm going to divide it by 3 on both sides and then square root it. So to put it in my calculator, I'll just put it all into my calculator at once. So I'll be left with x is equal to 11.25 squared divided by 3 square rooted. Okay, so I'm literally just going to substitute this into my calculator as a whole. Okay, once I put it into my calculator, I should get the value of x as 6.5 to 1 decimal place. Okay, so the length of one edge of this cube is going to be 6.5 to 1 decimal place. Okay, so 6.5 to 1 decimal place. Do write your answers in pen. Sorry, the drawing in pencil. Do write your answers in pen. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Question 19. A, B, C, D, E, F is a regular hexagon with the length of the sides x. So this is the white hexagon. Each length has a side x. Okay, that's the basics. Now, the hexagon is enlarged by the scale factor p to give you the bigger hexagon. So each of these lengths x is enlarged by p, so they become xp. Alright? Okay. Now, show that the area of the shaded region in the diagram can be given by 3 root 3p minus 1 bracket x squared. So, first and foremost, area of a hexagon. Okay? Now, a hexagon, just zoom in closely to have a look at this shape. A hexagon can split itself into 6 equilateral triangles. Equilateral. Now, equilateral triangles are triangles where all 3 sides and all 3 angles are the same. Okay, and if all the angles add up to 180 and I did 180 divided by 3, each one would be 60 degrees. So each one is 60 degrees, each angle, and each length is x, okay, because they're equilateral triangles. So to work out the area of a triangle, I do a half times A times B times sine C. Now, I know that a hexagon is made up of 6 equilateral triangles. So to work out an area of hexagon, I would do a half, 6 times a half times A times B times sine C. Purely because there's 6 triangles, I would work out the area of one triangle and then I would multiply by 6. So now you know the area of a hexagon in this question I can do by 6 times a half times A times B times sine C. Okay? And let's zoom out and get on with the question. So first and foremost, we're going to get started off with a small hexagon. So we've got a half times each length is x, so times x, 6 times a half times x times sine 60. Okay, so the small hexagon is 6 times a half times x times sine 60. 6 times a half is going to give me 3. X times x is going to give me x squared, and sine 60 is going to be root 3 over 2. In this question, they have written it out like this, so I'm going to write it like this. 3 root 3 over 2 x squared. It doesn't make a difference. I've just written rearranged my numbers to give me in that format. Okay. Now I'm going to work out the big hexagon. So it's going to be 6 times, the only difference in this question is that each length is now xp. Okay, so 6 times a half times xp times sine 60. 6 times a half is 3. Xp times xp is x squared p squared. And sine 60 is root 3 over 2. Again, I'm going to write this all out in the format of 3 root 3, 2, x squared, p squared. Now, what is the question actually asking me? It's asking me to show the area of the shaded region. So to get the shaded region, I would do the big hexagon, take away the small hexagon. So let's do that. So the big hexagon is 3 root 3 over 2, x squared, p squared. And the small one is take away 3 root 3 over 2, x squared. So first and foremost, they factorized it by 3 root 3, 2, so am I. I'm going to factorize it by 3 root 3 over 2. In my bracket, I'm going to have x squared, p squared, take away x squared. Okay, now in the question, they've also factorized it by x squared, so I'm going to pull out another x squared. So I'm going to be left with 3 root 3 over 2, and then bracket, and then I'm factorizing by x squared as well. X squared, p squared divided by x squared is just p squared, and then x squared divided by x squared is just minus 1. There we go. I've written it in the same format, and that is going to be my answer. Okay? Just zoom out so you can see all of that. So just a quick run through. Area of a triangle is half times A times B times sine C. Area of a hexagon is 6 of those triangles. I worked out a small hexagon, the big hexagon. I did the big hexagon, take away the small hexagon, and there we go. I got my answer. Okay? Let's move on. Here's the list of 5 numbers. Find the lowest common multiple of these 5 numbers. Okay, so this is 98 to the power 53, to the power 64, to the power 73, to the power 88, and to the power 91. Now, lowest common multiple is the number they all go into. They are all going to go into the biggest one. They're all going to go into 98 to the power 91. Oh, sorry. So it's going to be 98 to the power 91. Okay? Last question. 5c plus d is equal to c plus 4d. Find the ratio of c to d. So I've got 5c plus d equals c plus 4d. I'm going to take away d on both sides. I'm left with 5c equals c plus 3d. I will then take away c on both sides. I'm left with 4c equals 3d. Okay? What does 4c equals 3d mean? That means 4 cats are equal to 3 dogs. So the ratio of cats to dogs would be 4:3. Okay, hear me out again. 4c equals 3d would be the same as saying 4 cats are the same as 3 dogs. Therefore, the ratio of cats to dogs would be 4:3. Okay, just to put it into perspective. So the ratio of c to d would be 4:3. Now bear this in mind when answering the next question. This says 6x squared equals to 7xy plus 20y squared, where x is bigger than 0 and y is bigger than 0. Find the ratio of x to y. Now, x is bigger than 0 and y is bigger than 0 is just there to... don't get confused. It's not an inequality question. This question is simply saying that your solutions for x and y need to be bigger than 0. That's it. So it's a quadratic equation, so I'm going to make it equal to 0. 6x squared equals to 7xy plus 20y squared. I will take away 7xy and 20y squared on both sides. I'm left with 6x squared, take away 7xy, take away 20y squared equals 0. This is my A, this is my B, and this is my C. To factorize it, I multiply my AC, which gives me 120. My factors of 120 are 1, 120, 2, 63, 44, 35, 24, 6, 20, 8, 15, 10, and 12. Now, the two numbers that add to give me minus 7 are minus 15 and plus 8. So I'm going to split this into minus 15 and plus 8. Okay? I'm going to say 6x squared minus 15xy plus 8xy. Oh, I was trying to rub it out. xy minus 20y squared equals to 0. Now, I'm going to split this down the middle. I'm going to factorize both of these into single brackets. Okay? So what number goes into 6 and 15? I can pull out 3. I can also pull out x. 6x squared divided by 3x is 2x. 15xy divided by 3x is minus 5y. Whatever bracket I get on this side, I have to have on this side. So 2x minus 5y. 8xy divided by 2x is 4y. And minus 20y squared divided by minus 5y squared is, again, plus 4y. My final two brackets is the stuff that was on the outside. 3x plus 4y. And the repeated bracket, which is 2x minus 5y. Okay, don't remember this. Don't forget, this equals to 0. So 3x equals to minus 4y, and 2x equals to 5y. Okay, so what I did here was 3x plus 4y equals to 0, and then I took 4y to the other side. And this one was 2x minus 5y equals to 0, and then I took the 5y to the other side. Now, just like in this question, 4c equals 3d, the ratio would be 4:3. Same way here, 3x is equal to minus 4y. The ratio of x to y would be 3:-4. And this one, the ratio of x to y would be 2:5. Now, the question specifically said that your x solution and your y solution have to be bigger than 0. Therefore, this one is not possible. Your answer is going to be 2:5. Okay, let me just quickly zoom out. And that's the whole question. Okay, so all you have to do was factorize this and put it in the format of x ratio y and get your solutions. In this one, your y was a negative number and both of them had to be bigger than 0. Therefore, 2:5 is going to be your solution. Okay? Alright guys, that was the end of paper 3 higher. Do subscribe for more videos. Okay?